let me kind of give you just an overview of where we are generally and try to answer some of the questions. Meg Houck wanted to know about healthcare. Fine. And I guess there's still meetings in one committee, so we don't know exactly where they are. It's a fascinating time in Washington for so many ways. And Maria, you think about all the things that we know for sure about politics. It's all been thrown out the door the last year and a half. And when you think about what the RNC had come up with after Mitt Romney lost, and we did the autopsy, and I'm a doctor, I know about autopsies, and they said our problem is as a party we're too old, too white, and too male, and we needed to be more respectful, positive, inclusive in things. And so now we had the election, and it's a new time in Washington. It kind of went against a lot of the things that we thought how the rules of the game would work. There almost seem to be pitched battles going on around the country as we try to get things done, just in terms of confirmation. I mean, we're in the personnel business in the Senate. We have 1,100 different people need to be confirmed. So far we've confirmed 17. We'll get to number 18 today. Every one of them has been dragged out to use the full 30 hours that they can do on every nominee, and that's what slows it down. So you basically can do 4 a week and nothing else in between. If you go 30 hours, 30 hours, 30 hours, if you drag on, you go all night, and we had done that a couple of times because the Democrats don't even want the time to run if you're out of session. So you can get 4 a week, which means you can't do anything else. We have great opportunity to do things legislatively, but also just with the Congressional Review Act. We've used it 4 or 5 times. We're going to continue to use it to peel back some of the midnight regulations that have come out at the end of the Obama administration, and you can kind of reach back all the way through the summer. We're continuing to do those, but you can't put them, they all get 10 hours of debate. They can't be pulled together. So there's a limit in how many things you can do, and anything that the Democrats can do to slow things down can prevent us to get to all the Congressional Review Acts we'd like to get to, given the fact that we have up until about May 9th, which is 60 legislative days to get them done. On top of that, you have the Supreme Court nominee. I think a lot of it had to do with the outcome of the election in November was the fact that Mitch McConnell had the vision and the foresight, as well as the firm backbone to say we're going to keep this seat open until we have a new president and let the American people decide who's going to be this nominee to the Supreme Court. Neil Gorsuch has a long history, Jim, in Wyoming. Even before statehood, his great-grandfather built the Wolf Hotel in Saratoga, Wyoming, which is still there today. And we're going to get him confirmed before we break for Easter. If we break for Easter before or after Easter, I can't tell you that, but we are going to get him before we break for Easter. And then there's the whole issue of the health care component of what the House is doing now, working on the health care bill. They've come out with a proposal that is being attacked equally from both sides. You all have been around here long enough to know that there's the policy. And Allie over here is our healthcare policy guru. We know what the policy ought to be. But then there's the politics of what you can get done and what you can't get done. And as Ronald Reagan said, I'd rather have 80% of what I can get than go over the cliff with a flag flying and get nothing. So we want to get what we can. Could this be better? Yeah. Could we have better policy? Yeah, the politics aren't going to allow it. And then we're also stymied with the procedural components of this. President Obama came to the Hill before he left office in the last weeks and said, don't work with the Republicans on health care at all. And, they've lost, the Democrats have lost elections in 2010, 2014, 2016. We've got the House, we've got the Senate, we've got the White House, basically because of Obamacare and the impact it's had on American families. So he said, hey, let them own it. We don't want anything to do not help them. But, when you're facing that, you have to deal with the fact that there are only so many things you can do procedurally with reconciliation that we can do with 51 votes, but it has to be, you've been part of those battles before, that there's only so much you can do get with 51 votes, which means if we only have 52, that doesn't give you a lot of margin for error. And as Mitch McConnell said at lunch yesterday about it, he looked around, it's because there's some people that run to the microphones whenever they want to go attacking Republicans. He said, I'm glad that only one of you is actually raising money off of the rest of us right now on healthcare. So, you know, I mean, it's always worrisome when people decide they're not part of the team and they want to play outside the line. And they might be completely right on policy, but when you take a look at the policy, the politics, as well as the limits that we have with regard to the process on the Hill, you know, that's why I'm supporting what they're doing in the House. Could it be better? Absolutely. I want to get that to the Senate and get it to the President, because finally, we have a President that can sign something into law. And unlike most of you here who have been here through Republican and Democrat, and in Jim's cases, even the Whig Party, I think. The majority of the members of the House and the majority of the Republicans in the House and the majority of the members of the Republicans in the Senate have never actually served with a president who could sign of their own party, of our own party, who could sign something into law. So it's almost a re-education to get to a point where you realize, hey, we can actually govern, and we get something to the president's desk, he will sign it, as opposed to the things we put on the desk before the President Obama vetoed. So it's a different time. We're kind of trying to relearn the lessons of attack and get to the lessons of govern. And you can either govern or grandstand, and I'm in the category that I want to be able to govern and get things done and move the country in the right direction.